The film and pictures of Nipsey Hussle's daughter hanging out with Bloods have gone viral on the internet. However, since this is not how most people are framing it, I urge you to sit with the entire narrative before you create an opinion. And jump to the comments with a hot take. Look at what no one is discussing. The fact that this young girl is genuinely carrying on her father's legacy is what we are going to thoroughly analyze today. Black Sam is the man who has been by her side the entire time. The one who has been restraining her ever since Nipsey was removed from this world. You can learn everything you need to know about Imani's mindset and the true direction of this whole scenario from his response to all of this. There is much more to the startling, the reality of what is actually going on with Nipsey Hussle's daughter than just a picture or video circulating on social media. All of this is going to be revealed. This is going to hit your soul before it's over, so stay locked in. Now, let's get started. Let me be really honest with you before we delve into the breakdown. Online, there has been a lot of discussion on Nipsey Hussle's daughter, Imani Askeedum, and the company she has been keeping. Many individuals have been responding quickly and emotionally without fully understanding this young woman's background, identity, and experiences leading up to her current position. We are going to distinguish the real from the phony, the facts from the fiction, and we need to go back in order to do that correctly. We must discuss Nipsey's character as a parent, the qualities he was attempting to instill in his daughter before to his abduction, and the state of Imani following one of the most terrible losses a kid can endure. This is the truth that is obscured by the cacophony of social media. Askeedum is more than just a famous person's child passively benefiting from her father's legacy. She is a young woman who was brought up with purpose and intention by a guy who recognized that her surroundings would pull at her from all sides, and Nipsey ensured that she had the basis to manage that draw for as long as he remained here. This is when things start to get serious. Though why she is hanging out with Bloods is not the question that everyone should be asking. Who has been leading her after her father's death is the question. What makes this entire event signifies something completely different from what the headlines want you to believe is the answer to that question. The context is crucial, so let's set the whole scene. Family. Nipsey Hussle, whose real name was Ermias Joseph Askeedum, was more than simply a rapper from Slauson and Crenshaw. He was a man who grew up on the streets of Los Angeles, was profoundly ingrained in their culture, and made the conscious and deliberate choice to use everything those streets taught him to create something that would outlive him. A generational project, a marathon rather than a sprint. And from the beginning, his daughter played a key role in that endeavor. This man did not divorce his mission from his family. They were woven together by Nipsey. He realized that a clothing business, a record label, or a real estate portfolio would not be the best thing he could create. His children, his community, and the people in his immediate vicinity were the best thing he could create. Nipsey's daughter from a past relationship is named Imani. Growing up, she observed her father navigating a world that most people only spoke about, the conflict between the boardroom and the streets, between the obligations of community leadership and the legacy of gang culture. Furthermore, Nipsey never attempted to protect her from that truth by acting as though it didn't exist. Rather, he made an effort to provide her with the means to comprehend it, deal with it, and overcome it. Everything that is going on right now is so multifaceted because of that method and parenting philosophy. Due to the fact that Nipsey did not raise his daughter to be sheltered, he brought her up to be a leader. What does a person who grows up in Los Angeles look like as a leader, in the shadow of a father in his 60s? That is the question in a town where the Bloods and the Crips are more than simply gang memberships. They are family trees, neighborhood histories, and lived realities for those in her immediate vicinity. And in order to respond, we must discuss what Nipsey was really doing when he was walking his daughter to school each morning. When discussing Nipsey Hussle as a father, there is an interview that is rarely mentioned. It is one of the most impactful statements he has ever made in public because it provides a clear glimpse into the man's intent. In raising Imani, Nipsey discussed his morning ritual with his daughter, walking her to school each day. He would take advantage of the opportunity to instruct. The most effective kind of instruction is one that is consistent, repetitious, and deliberate, not in an oppressive manner. As anyone who knows how the mind truly forms its foundation would attest. Intentional repetition. During that walk, he would question her. Direct, uncomplicated questions, inquiries such as what does integrity mean, and she would have to respond. He would ask her to say affirmations aloud, statements such as I am a leader. Simple statements have a lot of weight when a child hears them from their parents on a daily basis, internalizes them, and constructs their self-image around them. Before the outside world has a chance to define them, take a moment to consider that this man is from Crenshaw, a man who grew up in one of the most violent gang environments in Los Angeles. History. Who is walking his daughter to school every morning, asking her to define integrity, asking her to publicly affirm her leadership, and building her from the inside out so that no outside pressure, not peer pressure, not street pressure, not the weight of the neighborhood's expectations could ever overcome the foundation he laid. Hood parenting isn't like that. Celebrity parenting is not like that. That is thoughtful, deliberate, and incredibly compassionate parenting. From a guy who recognized that his daughter would need to be stronger than most people will ever need to be in the world she was inheriting before. The world told her who she ought to be. He wanted her to know who she was. He wanted integrity, leadership, and purpose to be part of her vocabulary, not as theoretical ideas she studied in school, but as real-life experiences she could turn to in trying times. They were also going to get challenging. Nipsey was aware of that. He simply had no idea when. However, this is the point at which the narrative takes a very different course. March 31st, 2019. For Imani S., that date marked the end of the world. Her dad, the man who took her to school each morning, before the day had began, the man asked her what integrity meant. The man who, in every talk they had, kept her individuality intact, was killed in front of his own Slauson Avenue store. She was 10 years old. 10 years old. Family, take a moment to consider the age at which the majority of children worry about what their parents are preparing for supper, what they will wear to school, and what game they will play during recess. At the age of 10, Imani Escadome lost her father, and not in a discreet, quiet manner. She lost him in public, forcefully, in a moment that made national news, caused anguish all around the world, and brought attention to her family's ongoing suffering. When a child of that age experiences a loss of that magnitude, the inquiry that follows is always the same. What did she have left? When the man himself was no longer there to support her, what did Nipsey construct around her to keep her together? And there are two components to the response to that query. The first section discusses the material possessions and legacy she left behind. The second, to be honest, more crucial part is who volunteered to support her in person and on a daily basis. Just as a bereaved child needs someone to be there for them. In terms of her legacy, Nipsey bequeathed her a portion of an estate that has produced substantial money ever since his death. His business ventures, music catalog, and marathon brand have all continued to increase in value and provide revenue because of the way his estate has been managed. His children will receive financial support that most people would never be able to. She has no material desires. Nipsey ensured that. However, having money does not get you to school. On a Tuesday morning, money doesn't ask you what integrity means. When grief strikes at 2 in the morning and your father's absence feels like a physical burden on your chest, money does not sit with you. Imani needs people for that. Actual individuals. People in the present. And that's where Black Sam makes his most important appearance in the narrative. Let's now discuss Black Sam, as this is the aspect of the narrative that not enough people comprehend, and without it, the most crucial background for everything else we are talking about today is lost. Nipsey Hussle's elder brother is Black Sam, whose full name is Samuel, as Ghe down in black. Sam did not merely mourn Nipsey's passing. He took a full, unhesitating stride forward. He committed to something that went beyond what most people associate with the term uncle. Since the day of Nipsey's burial, he has consistently, purposefully, and deeply intentionally assumed the position of a father figure for Imani. We now know that, in terms of culture, this kind of thing is not unusual, that it is expected of the men in a father's immediate vicinity to take charge and keep things together for the children who are left behind. In communities such as the one from which Nipsey originated, there is a true code. However, Black Sam's contributions to Imani go much beyond cultural duty. This is private. This man decided to carry out his brother's vision for this child as faithfully as he could after realizing what it was. Black Sam isn't acting like the hip uncle that shows up for holidays and birthdays. He is present. In the same manner as Nipsey, he is presenting himself in the everyday manner that true parenting demands. Because Nipsey is no longer physically present, he is ensuring that the foundation he established, those morning walks, those affirmations, and that lexicon of integrity and leadership, not fall apart. The depth of Black Sam's devotion to Imani has been discussed in the streets. He has effectively included her into his life in the same manner that a child is incorporated into a family. According to people close to the family, as someone you truly love and fight for, not as a project or a duty. He goes to her events. He attends her significant events. He ensures that she is surrounded by individuals who are interested in seeing her develop into the leader Nipsey has always told her she is, who know her father, and who comprehend her father's heritage. Let me explain the relevance of what Black Sam is doing for people who might not fully comprehend. There is an awareness that children belong to more than just their immediate parents. In communities like Crenshaw and in families with the depth and history of the Escadome family, they are a part of the community, the extended family, and others who share their ancestry and heritage. The best example of that understanding is how Black Sam has been working for Imani. By looking after what his brother cherished most. He is paying tribute to his sibling. But now we have to discuss the reaction, which is when it gets really hot. Family. Black Sam's response to Imani hanging out with Bloods and what it actually says about the current state of affairs. The internet did what it always does when images and videos of Imani with Bloods began to circulate. Opinions were formed right away. regarding what it means that Nipsey Hussle's daughter is in these types of settings and in these kinds of groups. Some people expressed worry, some criticism, and some outright condemnation. However, Black Sam did not react in a panic. It wasn't a public denunciation. Furthermore, it was certainly not the response of a guardian who believes that anything has gone awry. His response, as well as the way some close to the family have described it, was calm and collected, almost like a man who knows the whole picture and is not at all alarmed by what the internet is choosing to turn into a tale. Additionally, that thoughtful remark provides you with an important context that the majority of people on the internet are totally unaware of. You see, this is the actual tea that rocked everyone. For his entire childhood, Nipsey Hussle has a strong, transparent, and unreserved connection to gang culture. He never pretended to be different, he never denied it. In his music, he discussed it, he wore it as part of his identity. Additionally, he attempted to bring about peace and provide opportunity for those caught in cycles of poverty and violence. By using his position within that community, he was a member of Rollin' 60s and actively worked to bring Bloods and Crips together because he recognized that the conflict between those two groups was ruining the area he loved. Therefore, Imani's presence around Bloods does not appear to be a cause for concern when you comprehend who Nipsey truly was, and what he was genuinely attempting to create. Appears to be a reflection. It appears to be a young lady who internalized her father's realization that individuals are more than their associations, that unity has greater strength than separation, that her father's life's work transcended all sets and colors. Black Sam is aware of this because he experienced it with Nipsey. He was present for the work, the connections, and the discussions. He is aware that Imani's passage through those areas does not violate her father's legacy, it is a continuation of it, and his cool-headed, collected response to the whole thing is the response of a man who has been preparing her for just this kind of circumstance. Let's now discuss what Black Sam genuinely does for Imani on a daily basis, as this is the aspect of the narrative that truly merits appreciation and acknowledgement. It's not easy to be a guardian for someone else's child, particularly one who lost a parent like Imani did with Nipsey. Why? It calls for a certain level of tolerance, emotional intelligence, and non-obligatory love. It originates from a far deeper source than that. Black Sam has been involved in Imani's schooling, ensuring that she is in settings that foster intellectual development and the kind of critical thinking that Nipsey consistently encouraged. He has supported her social growth, ensuring that she has friendships and interactions that are grounded, healthy, and connected to the real community rather than merely the shallow world that may occasionally ensnare young people due to celebrity status, in a way that honors Nipsey without placing an unmanageable load on Imani. He has maintained her connection to her father's legacy. Is the problem with being the daughter of Nipsey Hussle? That legacy carries a huge burden. The world observes everything she does and interprets it through the prism of her father, the expectations that accompany that name, and the projections that people make of her. For any young individual, that is a heavy burden. Additionally, Black Sam has served as a buffer between that burden and Imani's capacity to simply be a young woman discovering who she is. Additionally, he has ensured that Imani comprehends the entirety of her father's character, the genuine man, not just the legend, the martyr, or the figure created by the internet. Every morning, the man would ask her what integrity meant. The man was flawed and prone to error, but he also had a vision so strong and distinct that it outlived him. Black Sam carries that knowledge and imparts it to Imani in a way that only someone who truly knew Nipsey not as a fan or a follower, but as a brother can. Actual conversation. There is not enough recognition for what Black Sam is doing for this young lady. Everyone discusses Nipsey's legacy in terms of his business, music, and community service. However, the fact that his daughter has someone like Black Sam by her side is one of the most vibrant, live manifestations of that legacy. Someone who is dedicated to making sure she runs the marathon correctly and who shares the same blood, roots, and understanding of what it truly means. I want to make sure we are making all the connections here before we move on to the final analysis. So let me explain it to you all one more time. Imani was raised by Nipsey with a particular goal in mind. Every stroll to school in the morning served as a classroom. Each affirmation that was repeated served as a foundation brick. Every discussion about leadership, integrity, and what it means to live a purposeful life. All of this was Nipsey creating something in his daughter that he knew the world would eventually attempt to destroy. Then he was abruptly, forcibly, and in public hauled away, leaving a 10-year-old girl to deal with the fallout from one of the most well-known killings in Los Angeles history while also attempting to simply mature. Black Sam filled the void. Not quite, no one is. Asserting that no human being can completely replace what Imani lost when she lost Nipsey, and there is no ideal way to deal with grief. However, Black Sam intervened with love, purpose, and the same marathon mentality that characterized his brother's whole outlook on life. In the important sense, he has dependably been there. Imani is also older today. She is navigating the world with her own agency, choices, and connections. She is spending time in settings that remind her of her father's culture, the neighborhood he cherished, and the people he was attempting to unite. Black Sam is observing with the knowing serenity of a man who believes in the foundation that was established and the young woman that it produced, rather than with fear or panic. Here is the analysis that, in my opinion, is the most crucial aspect of the entire discussion. Family, I want you to think about this section long after the video is over. This story can be told in a simple way. The cycle continues when a little girl loses her well-known father, grows up in the same setting, and eventually hangs around with the same individuals. That's the simple surface-level reading. That's the popular opinion clicks, comments, and fury are generated by that version. However, such version is untrue. In all honesty, the truth is more intricate and lovely than that. In actuality, Imani Eskedem is the result of deliberate parenting by a guy who was aware of the world he was bringing her into and made sure she had the resources to deal with it on her own terms. In actuality, she has had Black Sam by her side, carrying the torch of that intention, strengthening that foundation, and maintaining her connection to the true legacy of her father. In actuality, a young black lady from Crenshaw, who grew up witnessing her father's belief in the possibility of unification, is able to comprehend her community, navigate it fearlessly, and maintain relationships with people from a variety of backgrounds. That is not a warning story. Nipsey Hussle was attempting to create precisely that, is the ongoing marathon. Whether Imani should be hanging out with Bloods is not the true question this narrative poses. The true question is whether those seeing from the outside are prepared to broaden their perception of what it looks like when a child truly acquires their parents' worldview. Since it doesn't always appear to be a press release. At times, it resembles a young lady navigating her father's world while holding her father's heart. And you know that's nothing to be terrified of. If you know who Nipsey was, you should be proud of that. EMAN story ultimately has nothing to do with Bloods, Crips, connections, or anything that the internet chooses to turn into a viral moment. It is about a daughter carrying on her father's legacy in the most genuine manner possible. It tells the story of a community that lost one of its greatest leaders and has been working to pay tribute to him ever since. It is about Black Sam providing daily support to a young woman in need and doing so with a modest commitment that doesn't garner much attention but significantly impacts a person's life. The marathon never ends. As Nipsey used to say, he stated it so frequently that it became the community's credo, movement, and chant. And you see the marathon continuing in one of its most potent and intimate forms when you look at him, who she is becoming, who she is choosing to be around, and how she is navigating a world that stole her father too. Soon, Black Sam is responding to all the noise on the internet in a composed manner. That individual is well versed in the whole tale. It's a man who has been working. This father determined that it was not his responsibility to shield his niece from the world Nipsey came from after seeing his brother's eyesight remain vibrant and developing. It is his responsibility to ensure she is prepared for it. The mission has been completed. Conversation. What do you think about Black Sam's involvement in Imani's life and her journey? I really want to know how you're thinking about this one, so please share it in the comments. For additional articles that go beyond the headlines and provide you with the complete picture as it should be, click the video that is currently playing on the screen.